Hi everyone, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Matt. I'm a member at Beeston Free Church and one of the junior church leaders. I've been asked to speak to you this morning. I've been given the privilege to look a bit more at Jesus and how we respond to him. And obviously at the moment we're looking through the 7 miracles or signs that Jesus did in John's Gospel. These signs help us to know who Jesus is and how we respond to him. So far we've seen Jesus turn water into wine at the wedding in Cana. We've seen him heal the royal official's son with only his words. He then did the same with the man who had been lame for 38 years, telling him to get up, pick up his mat and walk. And then last week Naomi helped us by explaining when Jesus fed 5,000 people with a boys' packed lunch. So to introduce this week's miracle, I want to give you a clue. So the Guinness World Record was 469 people in Buffalo in Minnesota, all treading water all at the same time. So it was the largest number of people treading water all at the same time. If you know anything about treading water, it means you're in the water, your head's about here, and your legs are going like this to kind of keep you above the water. So pretty impressive. I wonder if you can tell what our story is going to be about today. It's something to do with water, but it's not about treading water. So I'm going to read in a minute. We're just going to have the Bible verse, our memory verse first of all, and I'm going to try my best to do the actions for you. James has given me a little bit of a crib sheet to remind me, but I'm holding the camera, so I'm only going to be able to do it one-handed. These are written so that you may believe that Jesus, that's where you do the thing on your hands like that, is the Messiah, the Son of God. Okay, these are written so that you may believe that Jesus, that's where you do the thing on your hands like that, is the Messiah, the Son of God. Okay, hopefully I've got that right. Okay, so that's our memory verse for this week. I'm now going to read to you from the Bible, from John chapter 6, and it's verses 16 to 24. So, John chapter 6, verses 16 to 24. When evening came, his disciples went down to the lake, where they got into a boat and set off across the lake for Capernaum. By now it was dark, and Jesus had not yet joined them. A strong wind was blowing, and the waters grew rough. When they had rowed 3.5 miles, they saw Jesus approaching the boat, walking on the water, and they were terrified. But he said to them, "It is I. Don't be afraid." Then they were willing to take him into the boat, and immediately the boat reached the shore where they were heading. The next day, the crowd that had stayed on the opposite shore of the lake realized that only one boat had been there, and that Jesus had not entered it with the disciples, but that they had gone away alone. Then some boats from Tiberias landed near the place where the people had eaten the bread after the Lord had given thanks. Once the crowd realized that neither Jesus nor the disciples were there, they got into the boats and went to Capernaum in search of Jesus. Okay, so quite an amazing story there, yet another sign of Jesus. So I've just got a couple of things for us to be thinking about as we consider. Let me just get my paper sorted. I can't get my paper sorted. Give me a second. Here we go. Right, sorted. So a couple of things for us to be thinking about as we think about this passage and how it applies to us. First, I want us to think about, wow, how can we worship from this passage? Well, Jesus actually did this and met the disciples in the middle of a storm, walking out to them on the water. Okay, he didn't need a boat. I don't know anyone else who can do this. Jesus is unique. This is him performing yet another sign to show that he wasn't just like any other man. He was actually the Son of God. So that's our wow, that's our worship. That Jesus isn't like anybody else. That Jesus performed these amazing miracles, and he went out and met these disciples in the middle of what must have been quite a scary situation. And he met them in the middle of that time, and he got into the boat once he'd walked on water, and then immediately they were at the shore. So Jesus took them to safety. So amazing. That's our worship, just to praise God for who he is and what he's done. And then in terms of our walk, secondly, our walk with Jesus. How does this passage help us with that? Well, I think I was drawn to what Jesus said to the disciples. He told them not to worry. Now, we all face trials, don't we? Not least our current lockdown situation. We can worry about when we might be able to see our friends again, or our teachers. Not having our normal routines can make us worry. Well, I want you to remember, and I need to remember this too, that these things are written so that we can believe that Jesus was not just a good teacher, he wasn't a magician, but that he was the Son of God. So we can trust in that. In our walk, day by day, we can trust that Jesus wasn't just a regular man, that he is the Son of God, and that we can put our trust in him. So our worship, our walk with Jesus. Thirdly, our witness. So our witness is how we help other people to understand who Jesus is and what he's done for them. Well, I did wonder, just maybe during this time, you'll be having some chats maybe on Zoom with some of your friends and family. Maybe this is the time where you share with one of your friends or with your family, when you're on Zoom with them, this amazing truth that Jesus can command the wind and waves, and he can walk on water. Maybe these 7 signs that we're looking at through John's Gospel might just be something that you could share with somebody else, because it's amazing news, and it's news that people need to hear, a news of comfort, news that they don't need to be afraid, that they've got an amazing God who sent his Son to die for us, and who did amazing things while he was here to show us that he is the Messiah, the Son of God. So that's it from me for today. I want you to take heart at the moment that Jesus is enough for you, and I need to remember that for myself too. Jesus did all these signs to show us that he is the Son of God, God's Son, and we can trust him. So we all miss you at church, and we look forward to a time when we can worship together again. All right, bye for now.